Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. Guys, let's not waste time. Let's get into it. I know why you're here. You know why you're here. I know why I'm here. We're here to talk Oscars. We're here to talk movies. We had some big movies play at the festival circuit. So this is a post-TIFF, post-Venice Oscar predictions in all categories. And I'm going to be giving my very early predicted winners. And it's shaping out to be a really great year at the Oscars. So let's go through all of these categories together. Let's do it. All right, so starting with the big one, we're starting with Best Picture. Let's talk about it, guys. So, Women Talking, I have at number 1. If you go back to a video I did, I think in March or April, I had Women Talking and The Fabelmans as number 1 and number 2. And I'm really liking how it's shaping up this year. To me, I have those still ranked very highly. I am putting right now Women Talking in the number 1 position. And I have number 2, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, Everything Everywhere All at Once, let's talk about that really quick, because doesn't that feel like this year's Parasite and Coda, right? It just feels like it. It feels like the movie that's going to probably win SAG Ensemble. And then as soon as voters see them win SAG Ensemble, I can just see it now, all the shifting of support just kind of going their way and for that film. So with that being said, though, I do still have Everything Everywhere All at Once kind of in that second position for now, because even though I think it's a hell of a chance to win, to me, it still feels like a movie that's very untested on like how the Academy membership is going to respond to that movie in general, right? Like we have no idea whether the actual membership will like it. And again, like we have to remember who this membership is, right? Like this is like a bunch of older, I mean, it's getting better, but it's still a lot of old members in the Academy. And we got to remember there's like dildos and Everything Everywhere All at Once, right? There's like hot dogs as fingers. Are they going to even understand the Ratatouille bit, right? I don't know. It's still untested. We still do not know. So to me, that's why I have it right now at number 2, but I can see it easily winning. So right now I have that number 2. Number 1, I have Women Talking. And the reason why I have that is just because I feel the most comfortable that that's going to get a nomination. So the one thing against it is I'm not sure the passion is like really, really like red hot for this film, but it does feel very well liked. And I think it's probably going to garner a lot of number 1 votes, number 2s and 3s, which is going to really benefit from, I think, the preferential ballot. It's also very actor heavy, which always helps, right? Because the biggest part of the branch of the Academy are actors. Also, I heard it's a very emotional film that pulls at the heartstrings. I think we always know that people tend to vote with their heart and not so much with their head. So I think with all the things, with all the little things we've talked about, female directed film, emotional film, actor heavy, important subject matter, I think with all those elements, I think that is a good position to be nominated, of course. But that's why I have it right now at number 1. So Everything Everywhere All at Once would be very similar to like Parasite or like Coda, right? It's the little engine that could. So the number 3 spot, I have The Fabelmans. It won the TIFF People's Choice Award. And fun fact, for the last 10 years, every single film that won this award got nominated for Best Picture. So sometimes this winner goes on to win Best Picture, like a year like Green Book did, but sometimes it doesn't, right? For example, Jojo Rabbit won this award over Parasite and Room won over Spotlight, but a nomination looks, right, incredibly strong. Another reason why I have this pretty high up is it's a personal film to Spielberg. So I see this as like one of those like career awards, kind of like Martin Scorsese winning for Departed or even like Guillermo del Toro winning for Shape of Water. It's like awarding the, legendary director. And I think a negative thing about it would probably be Spielberg himself, because, the trends of lately has been the Academy seems to like awarding people who are new to the club, like new blood and newcomers. So I don't know if the priority that is there to like want to give Spielberg another one. Another film I feel pretty good about cracking the Best Picture lineup, and that's Banshees of the Inisherin. The reviews are super good. It's really great reviews. The movie's humor kind of infused. And I'm sure Colin Firth, Brandon Gleeson look really really in a good spot to be both nominated. And Martin McDonagh was previously nominated for 3 billboards, so I feel pretty confident with like Banshees of Inisherin. So Women Talking, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Banshees of Inisherin. I feel really good about that being like my top 4 of like most sure that's getting in. Here's the point where I'm completely unsure where the remaining slots will be. So I have Babylon at 5. Obviously, completely unknown whether this will be something that the Academy completely responds to. But I have it in there because it's Damien Chazelle and just kind of banking on his sheer talent alone. I just have also like this annoying feeling in my brain that just kind of nags at me that says that Babylon is going to be this year's like Wolf of Wall Street, both in like style and also how it's going to like rub Academy members the wrong way. So my gut feels like there's something in my gut that still feels like unsure about Babylon. And obviously it's just because we haven't seen it. And you know, by the trailer, it looked like a really epic film. It had that wild energy, but I don't know. There's something about the trailer that makes me feel very nervous about it being like very brazen. I get like a very brazen feel from Babylon. That's just from my perception of watching the trailer, but who knows? But again, I don't know, man. Damien Chazelle just doesn't strike me as someone who won't deliver something that people are going to enjoy. So I have it in at number 5 right now. So my number 6, I have Tar, and that's simply just based on the reviews. It probably has the strongest reviews out of any film this year that I'm noticing. Cate Blanchett is a very strong frontrunner, so it's going to be at the top of priority list for a lot of voters to see. So even Todd Field, like when you look back, he's had like 2 big movies, right? He had In the Bedroom and Little Children. And looking at Todd Field, like In the Bedroom hit Best Picture, and that was in a lineup of 5. And even though it didn't even hit director, still, Todd Field's In the Bedroom hit Best Picture. So I don't know, I just get this feeling that, you know, especially with all the new like influx of all the international voters, I think this will be a movie that will probably get in. All right, and then I have The Woman King, and I really, honestly, I don't feel incredibly confident about this getting in. It made really good money at the box office and has good reviews. So I think this could potentially be this year's Black Panther. But again, I would say that The Woman King or Black Panther, one of those films I feel like are going to get in. But I don't feel confident that they're both getting in. So right now I have The Woman King because it feels more Oscar-y. Even though Black Panther like got nominated only a few years ago. But still, it's a sequel. So I don't know, man. I'm right now I got Woman King in there right now. Also, not sure about the longevity, right? I'm not sure about whether this is going to stay in the conversation throughout the whole year. But if it hits like AFI, then I'll feel much better going, okay, Woman King, that's in. But for right now, I have it at number 7, contingent on how it shapes out throughout the months. But I don't know. You guys let me know. Like, write in the comment section. Let me know whether you think it's possible that Black Panther and Woman King can both get in. But my instincts is telling me that I don't think they both can. At number 8, I have She Said. This is like another spotlight type of potential movie. It's going to premiere at the New York Film Festival on the 13th, I think. So we'll find out soon enough. I don't know if like the subject of Harvey Weinstein will be something that voters like reject or will be something that voters like embrace. I think a lot of people already compared it to like Bombshell a couple years ago, but I think this one is going to have a little bit more of a mature style to Bombshell and a more spotlight-y style to it. So we'll see. But if it's like really rousing and entertaining, and if actors get noticed in the film, I could see this easily getting nominated. Number 9, I have The Whale. So if you look back at Darren Aronofsky's track record, it's just Black Swan. Like that's the only movie to get in. The Wrestler didn't even get in, and that was a year of 5. I don't know. The reviews are also really soft. But check this out. If you're convinced that Brendan Fraser is winning Best Actor, then The Whale should probably be in your Best Picture lineup. Because check it out. Here is all the best actors of the last 10 years. And here are the films that they won for, right? Do you notice something? All of those films were nominated for Best Picture. And that's pretty amazing to think about. So if you think Brendan Fraser really is going to win Best Actor, then in theory, the film typically gets nominated with it. So that's why I have The Whale at my number 9. And then Avatar, I put at number 10. And maybe this is too high, maybe, because it is a sequel. But I don't want to be someone who underestimates James Cameron. He's been working on this for a while. It's been stewing for a long time. And it's most likely going to just hit all these crafts, like production design maybe, and definitely special effects and sound and maybe editing. So it's going to be collecting a lot of those categories. I don't know if it'll collect any of the major categories, but Avatar is going to be a spectacle. It's going to be hitting in December. It's going to be fresh on people's minds. So that's why I have Avatar: The Way of Water at number 10. But again, we'll see. All right, number 11. Okay, so recently I made a video exploring my ideas on why I thought Top Gun was potentially not going to get nominated. And I want to be clear that I don't feel entirely 100% certain of that. That's just something, if I had a guess today, I would say it's not going to get in. But again, would I be shocked if Top Gun got into the Best Picture lineup? Of course not. But right now, I'm sticking with my idea that it's not going to get nominated. But, I still feel like it's possible. So that's why I do have it at number 11. But it's right under Avatar, okay? I think it's possible, just like how Black Panther and Women King, it's one of those. For me, I almost feel like it's Avatar or Top Gun. It's like one of those probably. But let me know in the comment section below if you think it's possible that both of them will get in, because that's very possible. But right now, I have Avatar and Top Gun out. And then right under Top Gun, I have Elvis. It's kind of my Bohemian Rhapsody. All right, then I have Park Chan-wook's Decision to Leave and my number 13, because, you got to keep an eye out for like that international film that's going to slip in. All right, and then my number 14 spot, I have Triangle of Sadness. I think there's people who believe in this movie a lot more than I do, but it's kind of a film that's kind of a passion choice. So I have that number 14. I haven't seen it yet, so I kind of would like to see that before I start putting that higher. Number 15, Empire of Light. Now, if there's a movie this year with bad reviews that I think could sneak in the Best Picture lineup, I think Empire of Light is the one, because that's like my old Oscar crowd. I could imagine that like that's a movie that still plays to them. So that's why I have Empire of Light at the number 15 spot. All right, let's move on to Best Actor. And one thing you'll notice about the Best Actor race is it's pretty slim. It's not incredibly competitive. But I have Brendan Fraser at the number 1 spot. Brendan Fraser won that Tribute to TIFF award, an award, by the way, that Anthony Hopkins won for The Father and Joaquin Phoenix won for The Joker. His standing ovation at the festival went completely viral. Normally, I would say it's, potentially just a moment in time. But, the actor race this year is so slim that I think he can easily just go all the way. So I have Austin Butler in my number 2 spot. I think he's another passion choice. People thought he was sensational. People loved the performance. And this is kind of like, could be Bohemian Rhapsody Part 2, right? I could see him starting to win a lot of awards and that would be it. Number 3, I have Colin Farrell. He's just, in general, having a really solid year. He was well praised in The Banshees of Inisherin. So I feel comfortable about number 3. So right now I have number 4, Bill Nighy, for the film Living. And I don't know if you've heard of this movie yet. It's not a very high profile movie, but he's getting a lot of great reviews for this film. It would be one of those movies where they award Bill Nighy for like the lifetime achievement, not just with a great performance and the pinnacle of his career, but also just kind of like, you've been a solid actor for decades. So here's a nomination. So I have him at number 4. Number 5, honestly, this 5th slot is like totally flexible for me. I can literally put so many people in. I have Hugh Jackman for The Son, but honestly, I could totally see someone else. I'm just kind of waiting to see who's the person that's going to go into that 5th slot. And that brings you to my number 6, Diego Calva and Babylon. Still very unknown. This movie hasn't been seen, so we have no idea whether people really, really are going to love the movie, but he could be a standout of the movie. So I have that at number 6. So right now at my number 7, I have Adam Driver in for White Noise. Now I know a lot of people have taken Adam Driver out. They've taken everything related to White Noise out because they say that this movie is just not an Academy movie. But for me, I think Adam Driver is well liked in the Academy. Number 8, I have Park Hae-il for Decision to Leave. Number 9, Song Kang-ho for Broker. And number 10, there's a movie with Tom Hanks coming out on December 14th. It's directed by Mark Foster. It's based on a novel, A Man Named Ove, which, by the way, there's a Swedish film already that exists with the same title. So what it's about is Tom Hanks plays a man named Otto, who's a 60-year-old who decides he wants to commit suicide, but his attempts are interrupted constantly by his neighbors. So this is a comedy drama. So I would say if Tom Hanks grounds the performance, he's probably in. If he does some Pinocchio, Elvis character work, he's probably not going to get in. Because Tom Hanks is a mixed bag, right? You never know whether you're going to get Pinocchio or you never know whether you're going to get Captain Phillips, like brilliant, even though he wasn't even nominated for Captain Phillips, but still. So that's my 10 for Best Actor. Let's go to Best Actress. Number 1, I have Cate Blanchett at the top for Tar. There's been a lot of speculation on can she win a 3rd Oscar, and the answer is of course she can. They don't care. Again, Frances McDormand just won a 3rd Oscar. They don't care. So some would even say it's a career best for Blanchett, and if she's already won 2, if it's better than the last 2 she won, why wouldn't they give her a 3rd one? I would say typically that Tar needs Best Picture for this to happen, but the winner in this category doesn't always need a Best Picture nomination to match. So if you just look, like out of the last 12 Best Picture winners, 7 had a Best Picture nomination. So just last year, for example, Jessica Chastain won for Eyes of Tammy Faye, and that wasn't nominated for Picture. So if you notice, like it's weird because all the Best Actor winners have Best Picture nominations to match, but all the Best Actress winners, it's a mixed bag that they don't always nominate for Best Picture. So number 1, I have Cate Blanchett. Number 2, I have Michelle Yeoh. I think this is a really strong number 2. I think for sure she's in. I think for sure she's going to get nominated. And I think there's definitely a lot of emotional depth in her performance. And I think that the storyline with the daughter is one that's probably going to resonate the most with the voters. And there's so many Oscar clips within that movie. So I think she's going to have definitely enough supporters to get in. And I think she might even win. Number 3, Michelle Williams I have in my number 3rd. There's been a lot of talk about her campaigning now in the lead category. And it was assumed earlier on that Williams was going to campaign in the supporting category instead of lead. But recently, the studios have made a decision that she's going to be campaigning now in the much more competitive field of Best Actress. So in case you're all were curious about this, the Academy doesn't really have any specific determinations or rules on like what's considered lead or what's considered supporting. It's actually up to the voting membership themselves to decide on their own what's supporting and what's lead. So the studios will try to campaign, where they want those votes to go. I was actually kind of curious because I know that an Oscar rule is that you can't be nominated in both supporting and lead, obviously, for the same movie and same performance. So it would need to be one or the other. And I was actually curious, like if she does garner enough votes in supporting and lead, like what's the rule on which nomination is withheld? And I actually just looked it up. The rule is actually if the Academy splits the vote, like let's say Michelle Williams gets in supporting and gets in lead, which one's going to be withheld is dependent on the one that received the required number of votes first. So because the studio is going to be campaigning Williams in lead, I have to imagine that the voters are going to follow along with that. And I think it's really important that they need to get the word out on that, though, because worst case scenario could be, the vote splits, right? Because maybe voters don't know that she was campaigning lead. So they kind of like half the people go lead, half the people go supporting. And then she ends up being nominated for neither because the vote was split. So we don't want that to happen. So, if they're able to get the word out that hey, everyone, hey, all voters, she's going lead, I think that she'll have probably enough votes in that category to get a nomination for lead. So number 4, I have Danielle Deadwyler. This is for Till. This just premiered recently, and it's already getting really great feedback on her performance. It's apparently a very emotional performance. And, you know, just some of the early word is really, really strong. So, and also it's about a really important subject matter and she's playing a real person. So check, 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 boom, I think she's in. Number 5, I have Olivia Colman in Empire of Light. And that's simply because she's Olivia Colman. What more do you want? You know what I mean? I mean, the reviews have not been that great, but still, she's Olivia Colman, right? The reviews for Iron Lady wasn't very good either, but still, it's Meryl Streep, right? So she's like the new Meryl Streep, right? Like pretty much everyone loves her and wants to nominate her for anything. So that's why I have her at number 5. Number 6, and by the way, this is just a testament to how freaking stacked this category is. The Best Actress category this year is it's like super competitive. I have Margot Robbie at number 6 for Babylon. That's because I haven't seen the movie, don't know what it's gonna be. Might not have like that gravitas, that Oscar gravitas. So I have it at number 6. Viola Davis, I have for The Woman King. This could easily get in. Obviously, Viola Davis, beloved Viola Davis by everyone. So if Woman King gets picture, I'd probably switch out Olivia Colman with Viola Davis if The Woman King hits picture. Number 8, I have Carey Mulligan for She Said. Carey Mulligan, I think people are wanting that to happen with Promising Young Woman just recently. She's been nominated twice now, I think. So we don't know if Carey Mulligan's going to have, you know, a lot of screen time or a sizable screen time to justify being lead. But if she's really good in the movie and if she has just this much more than her co-star Zoe Kazan, the person she's co-leading the film with, then I think she could get in. Number 9, I have Emma Thompson for Good Luck, Leo Grand. This is, you know, my older Oscar voter pick. Emma Thompson has a long history with the Academy, and the movie's freaking great, and she's great in it. So why not? Emma Thompson, number 9. And then I have in my last spot Naomi Ackie, and this is kind of my biopic choice. She's playing Whitney Houston, and I Want to Dance Somebody. You know, for me, the trailer didn't give me Oscar vibes. But again, I have this as kind of the Jennifer Hudson respect potential nomination. So that's my number 10. All right, let's go to Best Supporting Actor. Okay, in this one, man, there's a lot of flexibility in this category. I have number 1, I have Brendan Gleeson because it's an actor's movie. He's never been nominated before, but he is a respected actor. And I know that he's getting just as many good reviews as Colin Farrell in the film. So I think Brendan Gleeson's looking really good for a nomination. Number 2, I have Ben Whishaw for Women Talking. I would put him first, but in a film called Women Talking, with an array of all these female performances, will voters be like prioritizing, like, yeah, let's make sure that guy is nominated. So Judd Hirsch, I have at number 3. Now, Paul Dano was originally assumed to be in, but I heard Judd Hirsch is the one that actually makes the biggest impact with the little screen time that he had in The Fabelmans. So I have Judd Hirsch in that number 3 spot now. So then I have Ke Huy Quan in my number 4 spot. And some of you, I already know, might be wondering, why is he 4th? You're crazy. He should be higher. But something we have to unfortunately remember is like the Academy membership, man, they're its own thing. And I've experienced it so many times where like the entire internet could want something, but the Academy just ends up doing their own thing anyways. So I can just see Key being someone who's unfortunately snubbed, causing like crazy outrage. I'm sure the internet will go insane over that snub. But like, I really hope that doesn't happen because he deserves to get nominated. His story arc and the relationship he had with Michelle Yeoh is so beautiful, so emotional. He's such a lovable character. He's the heart to me of like the movie. So I really hope he gets in. Brad Pitt, I have in my number 5, and to be honest, he's just a placeholder for now, to be honest. I really don't know what's going to be number 5. To me, he sounds like he's doing his Inglourious Bastards character. You know what we have to do now? We have to redefine the form.
You know what we have to do? We have to redefine the form.
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain, and I'm here to kill Nazis.
My name is Lieutenant Aldo Rain.
You know, it's very similar. I don't know. But again, it is Brad Pitt, recent winner, so I have him at number 5. My number 6, I have Paul Dano. Again, hard to imagine that both Judd Hirsch and Paul Dano gets in. But who knows? Maybe Judd Hirsch doesn't really pick up that steam. Maybe Paul Dano is the person who ends up, you know, becoming that supporting takeaway from the film. So Paul Dano, I have at number 6. And then I have Eddie Redmayne in The Good Nurse. You know, he's playing a serial killer. It's a juicy role. I've seen that before, where like the serial killer, winking devil, as Tom O'Neill would call it, gets in. In Michael Ward, I have Empire of Light at number 8. Number 9, I have Anthony Hopkins, Armageddon Time, recent winner. And then number 10, I have Woody Harrelson for Triangle of Sadness. Everybody loves Woody, so we'll see. So moving on to Best Supporting Actress, I have the Women Talking Women at the number 1 and 2 spots, leading with Claire Foy at the top. I feel like by a hair, Claire Foy is the one with the most mentions coming out of all the reviews from Women Talking. And then I have Jessie Buckley, I see as kind of the person right underneath. She was a recent nominee as well last year, so that's another notch for Jessie Buckley. Number 3, I have Carrie Condon for Banshees of the Inisherin. And what I've heard about her in the film is I heard that she's a bit of a scene stealer, which is always a good word you want attached to potentially being nominated. So Carrie Condon, I have at number 3. Number 4, I have Hong Chow because she's getting a lot of great mentions for the movie. You know, it was kind of for a while, I was like on the fence of whether it was going to be Sadie Sink or Hong Chow on who was going to get nominated in this category. And I think Chow has just kind of taken over a little bit from what I've read. So then at number 5, I have Stephanie Hsu. And I'm very unconfident with this one again. Of all the actors of Everything Everywhere All at Once, she's probably the one, unfortunately, I could see miss. And to me, it would be a shame because she's the one that really like stuck out as someone who really, really impressed me watching that movie. Like comedically, dramatically, like I feel like she really understood the project's tone and like just completely nailed it. The range of being able to do those like really funny scenes and also like do the dramatic scenes, it was like, wow. The reason why I have her in though, is just wishful thinking. Like I need her to be in. And next I have the She Said Women. I have Zoe Kazan, Samantha Morton. Again, we don't really know too much about the movie at this point. We'll know in a few days. And then next I have Tuso Mbedu in The Women King. Again, I'm unsure how The Women King is going to continue to be remembered throughout the year. And her performance is arguably lead. So she has a lot of screen time. So that's why I have her at number 8. And then Janelle Monáe and Glass Onion. And I'll be honest, I have this one purely because I've been seeing it in a lot of people's predictions. It's possible, but I'm kind of a skeptic on whether the Academy is honestly that cool enough to do it. And then I have at my last place, I have Laura Dern as the Sun because again, if Hugh Jackman's going to get in for actor, then maybe Laura Dern gets in for supporting actress too. So that's why I have her in the 10th spot. All right, let's move on to Best Director. And this is always my favorite category. And this director lineup, it's looking so good this year, so competitive. All right, let's talk about what I did here. I ranked number 1, Sarah Polley, number 2, Steven Spielberg. And those two, I feel just very comfortable with. So from 3 on is kind of where it's like things can be flexible. Right now, I have Martin McDonagh, The Banshees of Inisherin, recent winner for 3 Billboards. The reviews on the film are incredibly strong, so that's why I have him 3rd. And then number 4, I have Todd Field in for Tar. Now again, he's never been nominated for Best Director. You know, we all know the director's branch is a little bit more like picky with who they allow. They're a lot more selective with who they allow to be in the club. So that's why I kind of have him as my like prestigious director. And then I have Damien Chazelle, Babylon. So again, the only reason why I have Damien Chazelle ranked low is because I haven't seen the movie. Every time I think about the trailer, because I get the Wolf of Wall Street vibes. Scorsese, I would say arguably was kind of 5th that year for director. So I have Damien Chazelle 5th right now. And then number 6, now this is where I'm probably going to cause outrage because you're probably wondering, why did you put the Daniels at number 6 for Everything Everywhere All at Once? It should be number 1. Well, they definitely should be in. I want them to be in. But again, I'm talking about that picky director branch. And I'm thinking about how the club is so exclusive. And they honestly just don't let anybody into the club easily. I should probably put them in. Should I put the Daniels in? Everything Everywhere All at Once is just a huge question mark for me in terms of whether the Academy is going to love the movie. And I don't know. I just really don't know whether the Daniels are going to get in. If I put them in, I would probably put them in at the 4 or 5 spot. I couldn't get any higher than that right now. But guys, I don't know. Like, help me out. Give me the best evidence you have, because I want to put them in. I want to put the Daniels in. They should be in. All right. Number 7, I have Park Chan-wook. Again, always looking out for the international director to kind of put in there. I think Decision to Leave, to me, is the international film that I'm deciding to be this year's kind of Drive My Car. So that's why I have Park Chan-wook there. Number 8, I have James Cameron for Avatar: The Way of the Water, because again, I don't deny the Cameron. And then number 9, I have Edgar Berger, All Quiet on the Western Front. Again, another possible international director that can slip in there. Number 10, I have Darren Aronofsky for The Whale. I feel like he is respected as a director, so I could see him get in, but the film is getting, kind of soft reviews, so it's possible he won't. Also, from what I've heard that directing is probably not even the strongest takeaway from the film. It's really about Brendan Fraser. So I don't know. I have him at number 10 for now. All right, so let's move on to Best Original Screenplay. Now, this is one where I just do feel comfortable. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is going to get nominated for sure. Number 2, I have The Fabelmans. Kushner has a good track record with the Academy for the most part. Again, kind of comparing this to Belfast. Belfast won this category just recently, so I think The Fabelmans feels pretty safe there. I think The Banshees of Inisherin also feels safe. I think Martin McDonagh is seen very much as a writer. I think it's a very probably writery film. It's funny. It's quirky. So I could see that easily getting in. So then I have number 4, I have Tar. So Todd Field's been nominated before as a writer, so I could see him getting in. And then number 5, I have Babylon with Damien Chazelle. And if you just look at this number 1 through 5, doesn't it just look correct to you? To me, it just looks right. I have Triangle of Sadness at number 6 because it's known to be very original. When I predict this category, I really take the word original serious. I think a lot of times voters look for things that are truly original. That's why I have Triangle of Sadness potentially at the number 6, able to sneak in. Decision to Leave I have as number 7. That's kind of my world's worst person in the world potential pick. Number 8, I have Bros, which, by the way, I just read today that it bombed at the box office, so I'm actually going to move that down to 9. And I have The Woman King, then I'll put at 8. And number 10, I have Armageddon Time because, James Gray is kind of a writery dude, and I could see him potentially getting in there, but probably not likely. To me, I feel more like the number 1 through 5s are just like, let's just let that be it, please. All right, moving on to Best Adapted Screenplay. Every single one of these, I'm not entirely confident on. The one I am confident on is the number 1, The Woman Talking. I feel very confident that's getting in. Number 2, She Said, I have right now is kind of like my spotlight potential choice. And again, this will probably change if the movie obviously gets terrible reviews. Number 3, I have The Whale because it's a very writery movie, very dialogue based. So I could see The Whale getting in. Samuel D. Hunter, he based it off of his own play. Number 4, I have Rian Johnson's Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. Knives Out recently was nominated a few years ago. So number 5, I have White Noise. And a lot of you might be like, why do you have White Noise? That's not going to happen. But again, I'm going to predict it until I see it. Because from what I understand, White Noise is a very complex book. I heard it's very hard to adapt. Noah Baumbach, he's a guy who's in the club. He's been nominated for writing before. He's been nominated for director. I think he's well known in the Academy at this point. So I could see this film still getting this nomination. Even if this is like the solo nomination from the film, the challenge of adapting that book for film is a challenge in itself. And to me, I think it's a possibility that's getting in. So number 6, I have Top Gun Maverick because no one expected probably Maverick to be this good. So maybe they want to award it in this category. And then the rest I kind of just filled out as best as I can. Bones and All, number 7. I think that movie's getting really good reviews. Living, in case Bill Nighy's nomination kind of takes that film with it. And in this category. Number 9, I have The Sun. And then number 10, I have Till. All right, so that was the Best Adapted Screenplay category. But before we move on, let's take a quick break and hear from our sponsor. Just kidding, this channel doesn't have a sponsor. So the sponsor of this channel is it's me. If you like these types of videos about movies, Oscars, predictions, all that good stuff, the best way to support this channel is by simply hitting that subscribe button down below, liking the video, commenting, sharing. It really helps boost the video and be able to reach more viewers like yourself. All right, so moving on to Best Animated Feature, and again, you can just retitle this category Netflix versus Disney, because my 1 through 5 are either Netflix or Disney. Number 1, I have Pinocchio. This is Guillermo del Toro's stop motion. The animation just looks incredible. This is a movie that Netflix is putting out. So yeah, that's my number 1 right now. So number 2, you gotta have Pixar's Best of the Year in there. It's not Lightyear, so I have Turning Red in my number 2. Strange World is another Disney movie. The director of Strange World also co-directed Big Hero 6, which won this category, and Raya of the Last Dragon, which was nominated in this category. So if you haven't heard about this movie is about a legendary family of explorers called the Clads, whose differences threaten to topple their latest and most crucial mission into uncharted and treacherous territory. So again, there's a lot of history with this director, so I'm going to put that at number 3. Number 4, I have Wendy and Wild. This is another film by Netflix. It's the director of Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach, and Coraline, which, by the way, Coraline was nominated for this category. The movie is about 2 scheming demon brothers who enlist the help of a 13-year-old girl named Kat to summon them from the land of the living. It's getting really good reviews as well, so that's why I have that right now at number 4. At number 5, I put in The Sea Beast. This is another co-director of Big Hero 6. The 2 co-directors, actually, by the way, of Big Hero 6 might be competing against each other in this category, so that makes things kind of fun. The director, Chris William, left Disney to do this project for Netflix. The animation just looks really quite impressive in this movie, especially the water just looks so good. All right, number 6, and this one could easily get into. This is from the director of The Secret Life of Kells and The Breadwinner, which were both nominated in this category, so this could easily get in. And then I have Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, which is devastatingly at 7, because when you really look at it, it's such a good movie. It's such a beautiful movie, but will the animation branch consider it truly animation? I know it is, but there's a lot of live action stuff in it. So I can see this being like, remember when Lego Movie was supposedly gonna get in, but it didn't? And then everyone went, well, they did have like Will Ferrell in it, and it was like a lot of live action. Maybe we should have like looked at that a little closer. That's why I think Marcel the Shell with Shoes On is vulnerable here. Number 8, I have The Bad Guys, the DreamWorks animation pick. This could easily get in as well. Man, this is a really stacked category. And then number 9, I have Lightyear. Probably not going to happen, but again, with a Pixar movie. And then number 10, I have Apollo 10.5. That's probably not going to get in. Maybe it's wishful thinking. I just love the movie, so I have it at number 10. All right, let's talk about Best Documentary Feature. At number 1, I have All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. This one is by Laura Petraz, the previous winner of Citizen4. So this is about the career of Nan Goldin, who is an activist, and this is about the fall of the Sacker family, who owned pharmaceutical companies and played a major role in the opioid epidemic. So I have Fire of Love currently at number 2. It's got a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. So this one is about 2 lovers who died in a volcano explosion, doing the very thing they loved, unraveling mysteries of the planet and capturing really incredible volcano explosion footage. So I've been hearing a lot of great things about this. A lot of people love it. So I have that right now at my number 2. Number 3, I have Navalny. Now, the reason why I have Navalny number 3 is because I think it could be a movie that the documentary branch would snub for some reason. Personally, I love the movie. I talked about this movie in one of my previous videos of the most underrated movies. If it gets in, I can see the Academy really loving this movie, but it's got to get in by the branch of the documentary branch. Again, I don't know. I just have this inkling that it could be a movie that's snubbed, but I have it right now currently at number 3. Descendant I have at number 4, currently has 100% of Rotten Tomatoes. This is actually about the last known ship to smuggle stolen Africans to America, told by the descendants, I believe. So it's important subject matter. I saw the trailer. It looks really great. Looking forward to seeing the movie. Number 4. Number 5, I have Territory. This is a 97% of Rotten Tomato. This is about a network of Brazilian farmers who seizes a protected area of the Amazon rainforest. So yeah, so those are my top 5 right now that I currently have for Best Documentary Feature. And as soon as I watch all these, I'll probably remix these up based on what I thought about them. All right, so Best International Feature, I have Decision to Leave at number 1. So a lot of people have All Quiet on the Western Front as the kind of international film to win this year, but I'll be honest in saying that I'm not entirely sure. I don't know, so I just feel more confident that Decision to Leave is going to get nominated. I don't know why, I just do. So I have Decision to Leave at number 1. I have All Quiet on the Western Front at number 2. Number 3, I have Holy Spider. I just feel like I've seen this movie pop up at a lot of film festivals. I feel like it's being pushed actively. So I have that right now at number 3. Number 4, I have Saint Omar. This one's from France. I had to look this one up. This one was actually like about a young novelist who's forced to confront her personal traumas as she observes a trial of a woman who's accused of infanticide. So this currently holds 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I have this one in at number 4. And then I have Close at number 5. This is a submission from Belgium. It's basically about a film about a friendship between two boys who suddenly gets disrupted. And this one just has really good reviews. So that's why I have it right now at number 5. Number 6, I have Bardo. Now, Bardo has really awful reviews, as we know. But it is Alejandro González Iñárritu. It was recently selected by Mexico as their submission this year. So it's possible that Bardo still can get in on just the name recognition alone, but we'll have to see. All right, so let's move on to Best Editing. Now this one, there's a big correlation, right, between Best Picture and this category. So I always look at what film and Best Picture can get this category. And I also look at my tech heavy movies of the year. That's why I came up with number 1, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I have as my number 1. There's a lot of editing in Everything Everywhere All at Once, so I could see it getting nominated. Number 2, a potential Best Picture nominee, and also a tech-heavy blockbuster movie, Top Gun. I have it number 2. Babylon, I have it 3. This is Tom Cross. He's been 2 times nominated in this category. He won already. 4, I have The Fabelmans, and 5, I have Women Talking, because those are for sure going to get picture. And then I have Avatar, The Way of Water at 6, another big tech movie. Elvis, Bohemian Rhapsody won this category, so why not Elvis? And number 8, I have All Quiet on the Western Front, because a lot of war movies get nominated in this category. So if that movie plays really well with the Academy and hits in a lot of categories across the board, I can see that movie getting in for Best Editing. Then you got Banshees of the Inisherin, just because that's going to be a likely Best Picture nominee. I put that one in there. And then I have Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, because I think that movie has some stylized editing in it, and I heard it has really great editing from the reviews I've read. All right, moving on to Best Cinematography, and I'm going to rip through this one a little bit more quicker, but I have Babylon at number 1. I have The Fabelmans at number 2, Empire of Light at 3, Roger Deakins, and then I have All Quiet on the Western Front at number 4, and then Avatar, The Way of Water at number 5. I think Babylon, he's won for cinematography before. I think the movie looks gorgeous from the trailer, so I think that's probably going to get in. The Fabelmans, the movie's all about the love of film, so that's why I feel like that's going to get in, and I heard it's really well shot, and he's been nominated before as well. So Empire of Light, this is the Roger Deakins, he's a legend, so why not throw Roger Deakins into the mix? I mean, if the movie's halfway nicely shot, he has such a reputation to get in, so that's why I have him currently at number 3. All Quiet on the Western Front, because war movies typically do pretty well in this category. And then I have Avatar at number 5, because I can imagine a lot of people are going to say how beautiful Avatar looks. And then number 6, I have Bardo. Only reason why I don't have that in is because the movie is not getting great reviews, but the movie looks really beautiful. So even though the movie didn't get great reviews, I can still see that one still sneaking in there. And then Batman, Greg Fraser's The Batman. I think one of the big takeaways from The Batman was the score and the cinematography. So that's why I have him pretty high up there at number 7. And then I have Top Gun. They put freaking IMAX cameras on jet planes. Number 9, The Banshees of Inisherin, I have kind of in there as well, but not incredibly confident that that's going to get in. Same with Women Talking, I have that in there because they're Best Picture potential movies. So I have that at my 9th and my 10th slot. All right, moving on to sound. We got Top Gun, Maverick, boom, boom, rocket taking off, a lot of sound. Of course, that's very much gonna get in. Avatar, The Way of Water, that got in last time for sound. It's gonna get in now for sound. Elvis, that's like my musical pick. Bohemian Rhapsody won the sound category, so I think Elvis can get nominated here. Babylon, I have in my 4th spot because it's gonna be probably a very tech-driven movie. And also there's always an emphasis on sound and music, I feel like, in Damien Chazelle's films. So I have that one at number 4. And then I put Everything Everywhere All at Once because I think, didn't Power the Dog get nominated for this category? And I feel like if Power the Dog get nominated, this can get nominated because there's a lot of sound in that movie. And if it's going to get nominated for Best Picture, why not throw that into this category? And then I have Black Panther, Wakanda Forever in my number 6 spot. This category is pretty stacked. The Batman, another action-y movie. I have it in my number 7. All Quiet on the Western Front. Again, war movies do so well in this category, so I have that in my 8th slot. 9th, Women King, another kind of action-y movie. And then Nope, I have it in my number 10th slot. So I was actually curious about how many Best Picture nominees are nominated in this category. And if you look at the last 2 years when this category started of just becoming one sound category instead of being sound mixing and editing, last year 4 out of the 5 were Best Picture nominees. But the year before that, 2 out of the 5 were Best Picture nominees. So I wanted at least 2 Best Picture nominees in this category. All right, let's move on to Best Visual Effects. Of course, Avatar ranked number 1. It's going to be a visual feast, I'm sure. So that's going to be number 1. Number 2, I got Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. All right, number 3, I got Batman. Sorry, the Batman. I have that at number 3. And then I have Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I could see not getting in, but there's good visual effects in that movie, and it's probably going to get nominated for Best Picture. And then number 5, I have Nope. The special effects looks really tastefully done in that movie. Number 6, I have Top Gun Maverick. Even though it's like a tech movie, I feel like the emphasis on Top Gun was the lack of using special effects. So that's why I don't have Top Gun getting nominated, because I don't think the special effects are very prevalent because they're so practical in that movie. Number 7, I have RRR, and that movie actually has really great special effects. I don't know if it will like hit to the top of the screener pile, but that's one I would love to see actually get into this category. Then I have Doctor Strange 2. It's a Marvel movie. There's special effects. There's like a monster and stuff, whatever. And then I have number 9, 3,000 Years of Longing. This movie's probably dead to a lot of people, but again, George Miller is known to be kind of a visionary director. And if they're going to throw him a bone, it would probably be in this category. All right, moving on to original score. I have Babylon at my number 1 because, again, like we talked about, it's Damien Chazelle. He has a passion for music, so I'm sure it's going to have a great score. Number 2, I heard Women Talking has a great score, so I threw that in there. The Fablemans, come on, it's John Williams. Gotta have the Fablemans in there. The Banshees of Inisherin I have as my number 4, and then Tar I actually put in my 5th slot. The reason why I put Tar in my 5th slot is because it's about a composer, right? Even if the score is like not even the best of the year, they might make a mental association with music with that movie. So that's why I have Tar there. And then I put Batman in there because that's a takeaway from that movie. Empire of Light, because I heard the score is quite good in that movie. It's Trent Reznor, right? Atticus Ross, so I have that as my number 7. The Woman King, I have at number 8. And this is where it's kind of not as sure. I have Pinocchio, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, number 9. And then I have Avatar, my number 10. All right, moving on to production design. So this might look off to you, but look, this category for the most part are usually littered with Best Picture nominees, littered with, a few tech movies and other period piece movies. So last year, for example, all the nominees in this category were Best Picture nominees, and all of them were films that took place in the past or in the future. And honestly, that's my rule I start with. What films are potentially Best Picture nominees that will take place in the past or the future? So Babylon obviously takes place in the early times of Hollywood, so I put that one in there. The Fablemans, post-World War II, Arizona, so The Fablemans, number 2. And then Avatar, Another Planet, previous winner in this category. Boom, put that in 3. Black Panther, previous winner in this category. Fictional world of Wakanda. So I'm going to put that at number 4. And then Women Talking. And this is kind of my Power of the Dog type movie. Takes place, I believe, only like a decade or so ago, right? Still technically a period piece. So I got that one at number 5. And then I have 6, All Quiet on the Western Front. A war movie, obviously, taking place in World War I. The Banshees of Inisherin, again, another movie taking place in previous time. So I have that. Number 7, Elvis, taking place previous time, biopic. Put that at 8. The Women King, taking place previous time. Put that at number 9. And then number 10, I have Everything Everywhere All at Once. So moving on to best costume design, I have Babylon because it's, there's a lot of cool costumes based on the trailer, and also it's old Hollywood. So that's probably going to get in, I would say. Number 2, I have Elvis because they had to recreate, really well-known Elvis wardrobes. Number 3, I have Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Black Panther, the first one, won in this category. So yeah, let's throw that in there. Number 4, I have The Fabelmans because they have to do kind of time-specific period clothing. Number 5, I have Women Talking, and honestly, I don't really think I should have that in there. I'm going to take that one out. Yeah, I'm going to put Women Talking at number 6, and I'm going to move The Women King up to number 5. Number 7, I have The Banshees of Inisherin because it's like period style clothing. I have Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. I don't know. Sometimes there's a little surprises in this category. So that would be like that one kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, that movie that no one really saw. Number 9, I have All Quiet on the Western Front. Again, war clothing, World War I. I could see this getting in there. So number 10, I'm sticking with 3,000 Years of Longing because I think this is probably the second category most likely to get a nomination for this movie. But it's probably not going to happen. All right, moving on to our last category. We have Best Makeup and Hairstyling. This one is The Whale, kind of like how Jessica Chastain's Eyes of Tammy Faye won last year. Elvis would be 2 because there is some makeup prosthetics applied in Elvis in the later part of the movie, and it looks quite good and realistic. The Batman, I have at number 3. Number 4, I actually put Everything Everywhere All at Once because there is some makeup in that film, and it's going to be a Best Picture nominee. I don't know if it's going to get in there, but right now I'm going to put that at number 4. All Quiet on the Western Front because there's probably going to be some war scars and stuff like that, so I have that at my number 5. Number 6, I have Babylon. Number 7, I have Black Panther Wakanda, which, by the way, I should probably move that one up if I'm being completely honest. Number 8, I have The Woman King. Number 9, I have The Fabelmans because Michelle Williams, her haircut is like the talk of the town. So that bob haircut, yeah, let's put that in there. Number 10, I have Blonde. That's not going to happen, but it is Marilyn Monroe. And they had to, replicate and make her look just like Marilyn, which is a challenge. So I put that number 10. All right, and I think that's it. Yep, those are all the categories to cover today. But you know what? Let's get crazy and let's predict the winners. All right, so here we go. Early predicted winners. For Best Picture, I'm picking Everything Everywhere All at Once. I feel like we're in a new era of the Oscars where they really like to award the little engines that could, the smaller movies over the bigger films. But I think that this movie could be this year's Coda. It could be this year's Parasite. And again, it's like happening more and more recently where these smaller films just happen to just climb steadily all the way to the end. All right, so Best Actor, I have Brendan Fraser for The Whale. I just think it's gonna happen. I think the buzz is real. I think the love of Fraser right now is real. So I think he will win. So Best Actress, man, I think Michelle Yeoh could do it, but I'm actually gonna pick Cate Blanchett. I don't know, just hearing that it's Cate Blanchett's potential best movie, it's too tempting. So I have to put her first. Best Supporting Actor, this one I'm the most unsure about. I have Brendan Gleeson right now for The Banshees of Inisherin. Kind of a career pinnacle achievement, established actor, finally winning an award. Best Supporting Actress, I have Claire Foy. I think Women Talking's got to win one acting award, and I think it's going to be Claire Foy. We'll see. Best Director, I'm predicting Sarah Polley. That would make her the 3rd female in a row to win Best Director. I think it could happen. Best Original Screenplay. This one, I just feel like it's gonna happen. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is gonna win Screenplay. As we know, there's a big, strong correlation between Best Picture and Screenplay. Out of the last 12 years, the winner of Best Picture also won Screenplay 9 times. The 3 films that didn't win Screenplay was Nomadland, Shape of Water, and The Artist. And plus, Everything Everywhere All at Once is truly original. That's the one thing you can undeniably say about it, and I think that Screenplay win is going to help it win Best Picture. So Best Adapted Screenplay, this one I feel really good about. I think it's going to be Women Talking. Best Animated Feature, I have Pinocchio. No, not that Pinocchio, the good Pinocchio, the Guillermo del Toro one. There you go. That Pinocchio. I think that's going to win Best Animated Feature. Best Documentary Feature, I have Navalny. I think, again, like I said earlier, if this gets nominated, I think once people have a chance to see all the nominations, I think this one's gonna like play so well with the Academy. So that's why I have Navalny as my winner for this category. Best International Feature. This one, I'm bouncing between All Quiet on the Western Front and Decision to Leave, but I'm actually gonna go with Decision to Leave. Best Editing, I went with Everything Everywhere All at Once. Again, big correlation between editing and Best Picture. So if I'm predicting this to win Best Picture, why not wrap in this for editing? Best Cinematography, I went with Babylon. Best Sound, I went with Top Gun Maverick. I think it's gonna be its solo win of the night. Best Visual Effects, I went with Avatar, The Way of Water. Best Original Score, I'm gonna go with Babylon. Best Production Design, Babylon. And Best Costume Design, Babylon. And then Best Hair and Makeup, I'm going with The Whale. So those are my predictions. I'll probably update these in about a month or so, but I want to hear from you guys because just so you all know, I really do read your comments. I've had my opinions change by some of the points people make in the comment section. So feel free to let me know your thoughts and opinions of what you think is going to be nominated or what's going to win. You know, for me, I'm still kind of relatively new to YouTube. I'm still figuring things out as I kind of go along, but I really love it. And I love hearing and talking to people like you guys. And anybody who's really, you know, left words of encouragement. I just want to say, like, dude, like, thank you so much. So if you like this video and want to see more videos, the best way you can support the channel is by hitting that subscribe button down below. I'm actually trying to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so you can really be a great help by doing so. Other than that, thanks everyone for watching, and until next time, I will see you at the Oscars.